Hello, hello, hello. Let's talk astrology for a second. So today, August 12th, 2026, marks the total solar eclipse. It also marks a new moon. This is huge energy. Anyone who tunes into my channel is usually pretty intuitive. Like you guys know, trust your intuition, trust your feelings. You've probably felt this closing in and coming in. We're going to talk about the themes for each astrological sign, not only for today, but upcoming over the next even 2 years. This is going to take a while to unfold. So when we see an eclipse, when we see, the moons take place, there's things that are going to unfold, and it's not just like one big explosion and we're done. This is like a trigger point that's going to let things unfold. So let's just slow this down for 1 second. So if we look at each astrological sign, we're going to look at the theme for you. This likely is a theme that you have felt coming in already, right? So a lot of us has probably felt this energy. We felt like something's shifting, what's going on, what's taking place. It feels a little like intense. And it's going to feel more intense for some of you than others, and that's okay. Each chart is completely unique and completely individual. So the way that these energies play out are going to be reflected by your specific chart. Today, we're going to look at the overarching theme of the general theme. What are we all dealing with based on our sun or rising sign? We'll get into that. Now, if you decide that you want to have a full chart reading from me, reach out to me, send me an email, send me a private message. We can set aside a time where we will go through your chart specifically in detail. This is really helpful. If you've never had your chart done, guys, it's time. This is time to do it. You need to have your chart done. It's so crazy how everything just fits together when you learn what your chart is. If you do know your chart, fantastic. If you know your chart and want to go deeper, want to get my intuitive take on it, hit me up. We'll do a session, we'll do a reading, we'll do a chart reading. You guys know my sessions are booked solid, usually a few weeks in advance, give or take. So reach out to me now and we'll set something up for, down the road. We'll do it. Now, let's talk about this. So new moon today, total solar eclipse today. We've also just seen the lunar nodes switch signs. This is a lot of big themes coming in for everybody all at once, okay? The lunar nodes are going to continue moving, of course. And as they move, they'll affect each of us as they move. So, whatever that trigger point's going to be for you. And I say trigger point, but, there's going to be times where we feel it stronger and times where we don't feel it as strong. Now, that's a theme switch for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these ideas and I'm going to put them together and I'm going to say, hey, what are we looking at in terms of themes for all of us, astrologically speaking? If you know your chart, awesome, good for you. Great. If you know your chart at least enough to know your rising sign, perfect. That's what we're going to be looking at today. Rising sign. So I want you to, based on what I'm about to say, sign by sign, I want you to listen to your sun sign, of course, but even more dominant than that is probably going to be your rising sign. So listen to both. And of course, as you go through, we're going to go through the video. You're going to listen to each sign and you're going to say, hey, I know that person. I know somebody based on that sign. I know somebody who is that sign. So, it'll help you understand what some of the people in your life are going through. Okay. So I've made a couple of just quick little notes that I'm going to reference as we're going through this, just so I don't get mixed up, because we're going to be talking about a lot of signs and a lot of placements. We're not going to go deep. We're going to touch the surface. If you want to go deeper, reach out to me. We'll do a full chart reading. Okay. But we're going to talk about the themes. So if you have been feeling these things coming up, great. I want you to think about what are the events that have unfolded that have maybe touched on some of these themes already. How do you feel those things are playing out in your life? And then also, we're going to think about maybe the potential of how these things are going to play out for us. Okay. Yeah, so it's really interesting. I'm going to incorporate the Lunar Nodes placements as well as we're going through this, just because they line up so nicely. And I think that it's really significant for all of us to look at these themes as we go through the next upcoming months, okay? Now, like I mentioned before, the eclipse is today, August 12th, but keep coming back and watching this video, because this is going to unfold over the next, like I say, 24 months-ish. So we'll feel these things unfolding, or before the chapter closes, we're going to see a number of these themes coming up in our lives. It's going to look different, keep in mind, for each of us. So let's dive in and see what are the themes coming up, where are we going, what the heck is even going on. Yeah, so also I just want to say too, guys, like, these are big shifts, and a lot of you that are picking up on these feelings empathically, feeling like things are feeling intense, things are happening. I'm just going to put it in plain English. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. Life is just unfolding the way that it is unfolding. The astrology is going to put behind it maybe some understandings about why or how things are falling into place. The astrology does not ever make things happen. It is just simply looking at your placements, and it'll help explain why things are unfolding the way they are, or that this is not just totally random. This is unfolding because this is what's supposed to happen. So astrology charts are really crazy. It's such a blueprint to what is going on in your space. So let's dive in sign by sign. We'll take a look at the themes and we'll go from there. Watch the video till the end, because I guarantee you know people in just about every one of these sign groups, and it's going to help you understand them. It'll help you understand what's going on in other people's space, other people's minds, other people's lives, and we'll see what's going on. So let's take a look. Again, Aries rising. We'll look at Aries first. So Aries rising and Aries sun. So if you are an Aries rising or an Aries sun, you guys are dealing with themes around, if you have children, and don't worry if you don't, we'll get to that. If you have children, there's going to be lots of themes about your children over the next, a little while unfolding. You may already have felt this coming in, right? So themes about children. For some of you, if you're business owners, or, you're like side gig people, this could have themes around that. It could have themes about fun relationships. So not necessarily serious hunker down for life relationships, but maybe, the fun relationships where, maybe you'll go out on a date and it's not a long term, but you're just seeing how things are. You're just hanging out, having a good time. It could have themes about that. Possibly, of course, themes about your gifts, your talents, the things that you really are passionate about, the things that you enjoy. Also, we are going to talk about the social networks or groups of friends, for the Aries rising and the Aries sun sign people. So this could look like, now you may already go, oh yeah, like I've had all these things going on already. I feel like there's some shifting in these spaces. But, there may even be some releasing of something in some of these spaces. As we talk about this whole eclipse energy, we're going to talk about, some things releasing so that new things can come in. There's always a little bit of, you have to let something go to let something new come in, right? But there may be something releasing. So maybe some of you are having children that are going back to school. Some of you are having children, distance school, like maybe they're leaving, going to a different town or a different place to go to school. Children maybe moving out onto their own. There may be some sort of a shift there, right? If you have children. If it's a business, you may be deciding to leave something behind so you can invite something new in terms of creativity, passions, even in terms of fun relationships, not the marriage relationships usually. But you might be deciding to shift something, somehow disconnect from something so that you can move forward. This is also going to invite in new friendships, new connections, right? New groups, new networks, okay? Now, if you're Taurus rising or Taurus sun, these are themes of home, of family, of your roots, of your foundations, also career, right? So on the flip side of that is career. So there may be some trying to juggle these things. If you're a Taurus rising or Taurus sun, you may be trying to juggle family and work, right? But there's some kind of a shift here where potentially you are changing your focus even to focus more on career, focus. So that would leave maybe you feeling like there's a less engagement in family or some sort of a disconnect from family as you're engaging in career or career-minded things in whatever capacity that works or looks like for you. So, lots going on there, right? So, crazy things. So, foundations, home, how we feel secure, your roots, your ancestors. Maybe you're looking at where you come from and you're reevaluating that, right? But whatever this is, it looks like there's a focus towards career at this time as well, okay? Gemini rising, Gemini sun, neighborhoods, siblings, your personal groups that you're connected with are part of this. Social media is also part of this, so short distance travel, so trips back and forth, usually by car or, by like short distance travel. Long distance, I would say you need an airplane. Short distance, maybe a car. But, things like this. Also a theme of your beliefs, your spirituality, your higher education even. So if you're learning new things so that you can better yourself in your career, this is like those themes as well. So, there may be some sort of a focus on either travel, if this is you, or like short distance travel of maybe social media presence, um, of connection with siblings, or groups or your community, right? So focusing on those things, and there's some sort of release happening here, in terms of those themes as well, right? So very likely it's like I'm going to leave some of these things behind so that I can more tune into my spiritual beliefs, um, higher education. So something, I'm making room for higher education, or um, my spiritual beliefs, or they're shifting. I'm making room for those things. And to do that, I've got to disengage from some of the things that are going on, maybe in my community, in my groups, with my siblings. For some of you, this could even, and every chart is individual. Remember, every chart is unique. But for some of you, this could mean some sort of a divide between siblings, or a divide between, some sort of group in your neighborhood too. So, but remember, there's always something on the flip side. So we're not just leaving things behind, we're also preparing to bring new things in. Cancer. If you're a Cancer rising, Cancer sun, this is focused around your finances. Right? So that, for some people, that's like really scary. Some people are like, yeah, well, it is what it is, right? But finances, your spending, what you're spending your purchase money on, right? And also psychological transformation, shared finances, shared debts, a spiritual transformation, right? So this is about perhaps releasing some sort of commitment to financial obligations. So for some of you, this could literally be working through themes of refinancing something, or sharing debts with somebody, or, if it's literally money, that's what it could be. It could mean, paying off one debt, or consolidating debts, or things like this. So financial focus, right? So I'm letting go of one thing to embrace the shared thing. So for a lot of you, this might be help financially, where you're going to try to work things together. For some of you, this could be even moving away from a job to move into something where you're receiving some other kind of support. For some of you, this could mean that, you're moving away from working and into a partnership where you don't need to work anymore. Whatever this looks like for you, it's some sort of shift financially. So interesting. We were talking about Cancer, so Leo is next. See, there's so many. I have to keep a list of what's next. Leo, if we talk about Leo, the themes are reevaluating yourself. This is huge. Like, this eclipse is in Leo. This eclipse is Leo. So you guys are going to feel this a lot. But the shift really feels like, it's like reevaluating. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I here to do? What's my purpose? What do I need to embrace to be me? Your self-worth is going to be part of this, right? Partnerships is on the other side of this. Romantic relationships, business partnerships, legal commitments. So this could very well be letting go of insecurities that come with the back of your mind that are like taunting you and saying, you're not good enough, or can you actually do this? Or, you might be kicking a lot of those things to the curb and bringing in the let's do this attitude, For some of you Leos, this could be, and for a lot of you probably, could be inviting in a new relationship, a new romantic relationship. You probably don't need to go out and search for this high and low. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So, but pay attention. You might be getting rid of some of these old things so that you can expand in other ways, of course, right? Wow. And for some of you, because this is happening in your placement, this could even be something about, in terms of transformation. Maybe you're cutting off all your hair. Maybe you're changing something with your looks. Maybe you're eliminating something, getting something tucked, getting something, but this is all for your self-worth. So this is a potential for all of you. So keep an open mind about what this is going to look like around those themes for you in your space. What is it that feels like it's ready to be left behind so that you can move into something where there's like more of a connection with something else? Virgo. So if you are Virgo rising, Virgo sun, your themes are going to be about rest, going to be around solitude, going to be around taking that time out, also around health, like daily routines, work, even pets. Okay. So this is going to be like letting go of the idea that you have to be the one to do it all, because you don't. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to disengage. So where is it that you need to disconnect so that you can recharge? And again, bringing in the energy of, health first. Where do maybe you're changing your eating habits, your exercise routine. Perhaps some of you are bringing in a new pet at this time, over this time frame, or considering bringing in a pet into your life. Work, daily routines might shift, but remember, there needs to be some sort of balance, right? It's not going to be all work all the time, because Virgos can easily do that. Some sort of balance. Bring in that balance. Make sure that you are giving yourself the solitude time as much as you're giving to everyone else, right? Libra. So Libra rising, Libra sun. These themes for you are around social settings, social connections, your friends, your long-term goals. Also around children, passions, creativity, your goals, fun relationships, So perhaps a lot of you Libra rising, Libra sun people will be even disconnecting from some friendships that you have, or a solid friendship that you have. It's I'm leaving something behind so that I can embrace something else. There may also simultaneously be, so perhaps there's a change in the friend circle, but also then you're simultaneously tuning into your creativity, to your passions, to what it is that you really love, or your kids. You're putting more focus there. And some of these friendships, or a important friendship or two, might fall away or grow more and more distant as this time unfolds. Scorpio rising, Scorpio sun. You guys, there's a theme of career. There's a theme of public reputation, authority figures, your who you are, who the world knows you as. Also, family, home, foundations. So, what this looks like is perhaps you may be moving away from some responsibility career-wise, disconnecting from an authority figure in your life, or, in your space, or the idea of authority figures. And perhaps moving this goal towards family, foundations, home. For some of you, this could literally be home renovations. For some of you, this could literally be starting a family and moving away from career to do that. So, of course, all of us are going to feel these things in different ways based on what your exact chart is. But really, this is somehow moving away from some sort of career commitment so that you can embrace something on a more personal, foundational level. Sagittarius, your themes are spiritual beliefs, long distance travel, higher education, siblings, neighbors, community, the groups that you're part of. So you may be, if you're Sagittarius, rising Sagittarius sun, there may be themes of somehow disconnecting from some sort of beliefs, how you thought they were, the way you see the world, what are your beliefs? There may be some setting aside some travel plans, or, putting things on hold. I don't want to do this quite right now, or I've got other things coming up. This may be periods where you're spending more time with siblings, where you're spending more time with groups, where you're getting more involved in your community. Perhaps some of you are writing a book. Some of you are getting more involved in social media somehow. But whatever this is, for you, you're moving into something more local, and there will be some disconnect out of something that's more foreign or distant. Capricorn. Capricorn rising, Capricorn sun. Your themes are shared finances, debts. Yeah, like just financial stuff, right? Partnerships, shared finances, even thinking about death, or transformation, or what things look like after people are gone. There may be a lot of, deep thoughts going on for you, Capricorns, right now. So, yeah, interesting. This to me looks like more of a financial focus. So how you're bringing in money, how you're doing the money, how you're doing the things, and some sort of a disconnect from shared finances, or, some sort of a disconnect here from the beliefs, the taboo. It could be even, if you're experimenting or learning about intuition. That may be a bit of a pause right now as you focus on something more financially. The other way that this can show through for a lot of people is going to be a final debt payment. So over the next couple of years, if you've got some debts coming up that, are going to be released or somehow cleared up, This could even be, like getting income to pay your bills off. Some of you, this might be an inheritance, or it might be even a lotto win, depending on how your charts are. So, but yeah, there's some things going on here financially. So, looks like there's going to be more of a focus on the money coming in and going out, money coming in, going out, and less of a focus on, paying off those bigger debts, or, and on a psychological level, this is quite deep. Like, maybe, thinking about those things, or getting more involved in your intuition could be part of that as well. So, now, Aquarius, this is themes about relationships, themes about close connections, themes about even legal matters, or commitments, self-identity, balance. So somehow disconnecting from the importance of an alternate relationship, of not an alternate relationship, but relationship with other people, those you're closest with. This doesn't have to be romantic. It can be, but some sort of a divide, or a disconnect, or a, letting go of something there, so that you can move into the power of you. Crazy, right? And this will probably feel like a bit of a tug of war. Like, who am I? I have to find myself again. Some of you might be asking those questions. And some of you might be like, yeah, let's get it. Let's embrace this. Let's do it. Some of you might be like, I don't know what's happening. It all depends on your chart. But the thing is, like, it's disconnecting from some sort of a connection to embrace on you, your independence, your self-worth, your self-identity. So really embracing that, which is really exciting. Last but not least, Pisces. The theme for you guys, Pisces rising, Pisces sun, is themes around work, daily routines, health, pets, solitude, time out. There may be medical appointments that you go to, even, all of these things coming up. So, solitude is going to be a theme. This is really a time where, if you need time, take it. This could even be retreats for some of you, spiritual retreats, where you can really just zone in. Perhaps disconnecting from certain daily routines or certain health habits. If you're someone who wants to get healthy, if you are someone, and you're Pisces, and you're someone who wants to stop eating crap, stop smoking cigarettes, stop drinking alcohol, stop taking whatever, this is the time to embrace it, because your chart's going to help you get there. But make sure you are taking time out, you are getting rest, you are getting rejuvenation, you are doing the things, it's part of your chart, guys. So, perhaps, it's part of this, where it's like, perhaps you join some sort of a group where you're learning how to, I know I'm contradicting myself, but where you're learning how to enjoy solitude and really tune into that. So interesting, these themes. And of course, like I say, they all are different. based on your chart. These are overarching themes. These are the things that, that are happening. But really, these things are going to unfold over the next couple of years. So don't expect this to all happen in a day. If you watch for the subtle signs and the how does this fit into my life, just think outside the box. Think, how is this energy affecting me? Look at your sun sign and your rising sign of what we just talked about. And just think, I wonder what these things are that are ready to leave, and what are the things that are ready to come in. Interesting, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know how the things that I've just said are playing into your day-to-day. How do you feel like these things are coming in? How are you interpreting these energies? Yeah, let me know if you feel comfortable, right? Because this is a period of reset. This is a period of shifting. So things are going to change, and you won't even know why you feel like your priorities maybe have changed, or you're just going to be like, that's weird. I used to think so much this way, and now I'm just like whoop, changing my way of thinking. That's because there's a lot going on right now. So yeah, I thought it would be really fun to share this with you guys on the solar eclipse. So again, think back a few weeks back, and we're going to let this unfold. So come back, set your calendar, set a reminder in your calendar to come back every few months and see how these energies are playing out for you. Because it will shift and change and move around as the time goes on. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the solar eclipse. And if you are watching this after, of course, like I say, this is going to take a couple of years to unfold. So it's not too late. You are right on time. Enjoy, and we will chat again soon. Bye for now, guys.